All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our lovely YouTube channel here. Today, we are going to be giving our predictions for the shocking direct tomorrow. Um,
Whoa.
because I don't think anyone thought we'd get a direct this soon or this close to the Switch 2 direct.
I did.
You did? You saw it
I saw
coming.
the leak. I saw the leak.
There was like rumors about it. I can't deny that, but I did not buy into it at all. I thought there was no way we're getting a a direct this soon. Like I just didn't think it made sense, but here we are, we're getting one. Um, so I guess I'll start off by asking you, like, what is like where is your like your hype level at for this? Obviously, because we expect that because now that we know that like the Switch 2 is gonna have its own thing.
Yeah,
You can't
I
help but
mean,
wonder like how many meaningful announcements there'll be on this.
I would say like a 60 out of like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. So you think it'll be like decent, but not like amazing.
Yeah, because I feel like there will be like obviously there's always something cool with the direct,
Yes.
but I feel like with this one it's gonna be a lot of just seeing uh more of stuff they've already have said. Like there's probably gonna be just more on Metroid Prime 4. Um, I don't think they're gonna say anything with like Pokemon because they like
Yeah,
just had that
I agree.
thing. I don't know what else they've like. There might be something with like like Mario Kart 9, maybe just like a little more.
Mhm.
But that's it.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so I'll start it off here because yeah, that is the thing, right? It's like yeah, we don't really know like because like the clear message I think from this direct, even before seeing it, the clear message from this direct is that the Switch 1 is not dying anytime soon. Like the Switch 2 is clearly coming out in the next few months, we think. And there's going to be some Switch 2 exclusive games, but like I think we're starting to see Nintendo kind of I don't know if copy is the right word, but like they were clearly taking inspiration by like Sony and to an extent Microsoft in the sense that they are keeping their older console alive for at least some period of time after the new one comes out. Like if PS4 has been going strong really for years after the PS5 came out. Like I think this in the last like year or so, it's finally started to lose some steam a little bit. But and it makes sense because
Mhm.
the Switch one has such a huge install base. Like you don't want to just throw all that away for another console when you don't have to. So I think it makes sense to keep the Switch alive for a decent amount of time after the Switch 2 comes out. And so like in hindsight, I think a direct like this actually makes a little more sense than maybe even I realized. Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah, so I'll
I
go
think
ahead.
they're gonna like they're definitely obviously going to mention the Switch 2.
You think so? Because in the
I
post, it
mean,
literally
yeah.
says like we will not
Well, they're not
mention.
going to be giving information about the second Switch, but they'll probably say like also coming to Switch 2. But like that's the extent.
Really, see, I think they would wait until next week to say that. Like Metroid Prime 4, for instance. Like I am like it's not to spoil future predictions here, but like Metroid Prime 4, I feel very confident is a Switch 2 like launch day game.
Hmm.
However, I don't think they'll mention it. I don't think they'll mention anything about the Switch 2 version of that game in this direct, if anything, because I guess we'll get into it right away, I guess. So yeah, so I think Metroid Prime 4
Like
will be
what I think it would be is that they say the game and then on that day they then say like they'll say this it's coming to Switch 2, but then on the the Switch 2 Direct, then they'll say, "Oh, this is a launch title, by the way."
yeah, so you don't think they'll give a release date in this direct?
Yeah. No.
I agree, actually. Yeah, because if anything, I think I was thinking that because I think if they thinking that this game is a release date game, or even if it's like release window, um, I think they don't want to risk like potentially spoiling or hinting at when this console will come out. Even though most people kind of assume it's sometime in the summer. I don't think they want to give like an inkling of like when it's coming out exactly. So I think if they give a release date for this game, it'll kind of give people a better idea of when the Switch 2 will release. I mean, they would rather wait until next week to like fully reveal that. So I think we will see Metroid Prime 4. I think we will see more on maybe the gameplay, some of the story. But I don't think we'll see a release date. I do think we might see kind of like more like of a sense of like what we're doing in this game, like what makes this one like unique or different from the other ones. Um, but yeah, I don't think we'll see a ton of like shocking new information in this game. Like I don't think we'll get a release date quite yet. I think next week we definitely likely will, but not tomorrow. I think not tomorrow.
I
Um,
say,
Go ahead.
I say, I think we should talk about we gotta start with like do you want to start with like what you think would be like a go bang and forth about what would maybe be like a lame thing?
I mean, you can
Because
do like kind of like simple, boring predictions,
yeah, because
those
like
always exist,
yeah, like uh let's see. Trying to see what I was. Oh yeah, so I think there might be like I'm trying to think if there'd be like an amiibo that like no one cares about that they're like in
Amiibo.
eh, yeah,
I think Amiibo's
and
dead. That's my prediction. Amiibo's dead.
maybe it's a Xenoblade Chronicles X amiibo that's gonna come out in 5 months.
I mean, if they did that, I would be more than willing. I mean, I'd be happy to see that. I think it'd be cool to get like an Alma amiibo or something. I don't think it's gonna happen though. Like when, like other than like, the Smash amiibo, has there been like any new amiibo in the last like few years? I don't think there have been. So I don't think we're getting any more amiibo, and even if we do, I don't think they'll matter. Like no one
mm,
cares about amiibo anymore.
mm,
So I will say no,
mm,
but I think I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be surprised.
mm.
That's what I'll say
What
about
is
it.
a trash prediction that you have?
So let me think. I have a little bit of a list here. So here's one that I think. So my main like theme of this direct, I think, is we saw this with the 3DS and we've seen it the last year or so with the Switch. Typically when Nintendo kind of gets toward the end of a console's life cycle, they love to do a lot of like ports and remasters of games. They usually have to kind of hold off on the major big new releases until the next console at that point. And so I think we're going to see more of that in this direct. I think it's part of the reason why it's only 30 minutes. Um, and so I think we will see a lot of 3DS and Wii U ports. So I think the first one I have is I'll say is I think we'll see a Kirby port of some kind. Kirby consistently comes out every like 2 or 3 years. It has been 2 years since Kirby from the Dreamland. Um, so I
I'm gonna
think
say it's gonna be Yarn.
you think Epic
Y
Yarn?
yeah, Yarn Kirby.
That's a good pick. I actually did consider that one. I opted for Planet Robobot because that game is one of the most popular Kirby games ever. It was really, really
Never
good
heard of
on
it.
3DS. Are you serious? It's like the best Kirby games ever made.
Never heard of it. Next.
That's crazy. It's on the 3DS. It was really good. And it's been rumored for years to be coming to Switch, and it has never happened. And so I think this would be the perfect time to do it. If it doesn't happen now, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I think this is the time. Like I said, it's time for a new Kirby game. Um, and I feel like, if they ever wanted to do it and make it matter, I think this would have to be it. So I'm thinking either a Planet Robot port. I also thought about maybe a Triple Deluxe port. Um, but I don't think that game it was really good. I don't think it was quite as popular or as strong. So I think that's less likely, but I think it's possible still. I wouldn't be shocked to see that one either. I also think Epic Yarn is possible. That game actually was ported to 3DS after it was on the Wii. So maybe they want to bring it full circle and bring it over to the Switch as well. But I think either way, I think we'll get a Kirby game of some kind, and I think it will come out not long after the Direct. I could see that game being like May, maybe early June, somewhere around there. I think it'll be pretty close after the Direct, actually.
Yeah. Well, let's think about maybe what do you think? Maybe like an Arms 2.
Arms 2. I think I'm gonna go with. I would go no. I think if they were to show Arms 2, it would be next week. I think that's
Mm.
too like new of a game. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much of like a jump up it is. And that's the other tricky thing about this direct, right? Is like we know that Switch 1 games are going to work on Switch 2. So it really comes down to like, next week, are we going to show only games that are exclusive Switch 2? Are we going to show like mostly games on Switch 2? Are we going to show like a bunch of both? Like we don't really know. So maybe they show it off today, and then kind of remind people next week like, oh, this game will be on Switch 2. Ooh. But I would lean no. I also just don't know if I think ARMS is a notable enough franchise. Like ARMS was kind of cool for like a year or two, and then like I feel like it kind of just fell to the face of the earth. Like no one talks about arms anymore, unfortunately. Um, and so I feel like,
Dang, all right,
while it was,
just play down that huge franchise. That's
I mean, I didn't
no,
hate arms. I thought it was okay, but I mean, they were
I
trying to
never
make the
played it.
next, see, like they try to make the next like Splatoon, like they try to make it all like colorful and exciting looking, like this whole like, oh, look at this brand new IP that's like really cool and full of energy and stuff. I think it was a decent attempt, but it just never captured the same magic that Splatoon did. And ultimately, I don't think it is quite as popular as a result. I mean, like, especially because it's almost directly competing with Smash Bros, which is like one of their biggest IPs. So I just don't think it ever really had a chance of taking off the way they thought maybe it could. And ultimately, I don't think it's going to get much more content, maybe ever, honestly. Um, so I'll go with no, but like I wouldn't say it's impossible. I think there's like a very small chance we could see something arms related, maybe. Even if it's not like an Arms 2, maybe like something crazy like Arms like spin-off game or something. I don't know. That could be fun.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions for like uh, one of those games where you're just like
I didn't write any down, but one game I do have a prediction for one game I think will be here that I think people will overly be excited for, but I will not. And that is I actually think so one company that has not had a new game come out in a decent amount of time now is Camelot Games. They are known for making the Mario sports games. Most recently did Mario Golf. Um, They have not had a new game be announced or released in a few years. And I think they
did
might be working on, might,
did did
a
they do the
new,
last soccer game or was that a different one?
yeah, they do strikers and they do golf, and I think they might do tennis as well. I think. I can't remember for sure. But they do like most of the sports games. Um, the one sports game I've never done that I think they might be working on is a new Mario Baseball. We have not had a new
Wait,
Mario Baseball game in a
wait,
long, long
why
time.
would you not like that? I thought you would
So
love
in a
that.
vacuum, I would like it because I like Mario Baseball. The problem is that most Mario sports games that have come out in the last 10 years are not very good.
Hmm.
And so I
So
think people
what
on
if
the
it's just a
surface
port?
might think it could be cool. I don't think it will quite be as up to our expectations.
What if it's
Um,
just a port
I
of
don't think it
the
would be
Wii?
a port, but if it is, I would much rather prefer that.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
well
they'd rather make a new one.
hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna say for next let's call it Slop Showcase.
Okay.
Um like a Slop Showcase. I'm gonna say a bad Sonic game.
A bad Sonic game.
Trick question, they're all bad. But I mean like an actual bad one.
Roasted.
Like
Um,
a remaster of like a two-pack remaster of like Unleashed and Black Knight or like Sonic and Black Knight.
um, they'll never do Black Knight.
Something
That
like
game
that
was too terrible.
where you're like ew, like why would they choose those?
Unleashed, I think maybe has a small chance only because that game does have some semblance of a following on the game. Like some people actually do like that game. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's okay. Um, it would be interesting because there actually is a fan-made version of the game that just got released like a few months ago that like I think improved some like the visuals of the game, I believe, and like some like the the kind of like the way it runs. Like, I believe it's now in like 60 frames or something. Um, and so it'd be really crazy if all of a sudden they announce just a remake of the same game. Um, I do think we could see something Sonic. Like I think there's a chance. I don't know if they've officially announced it for the Switch, but we could see that Sonic Racing game be announced, or like shown off
Mm-hmm.
in some capacity. Because of course they got that kind of like that weekend trial on
Oh,
PS5.
that oh my God, that's such a like a Garfield kart. Like one of the like a slop gar like kart game.
Uh,
Like one that's like a Garfield kart or something.
a Garfield card.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always possible. I mean, like, yeah, like I do have a third party section here that we can talk about later, but like, yeah, like I
M&M
mean,
Kart Racing Remastered.
uh, no,
You know about M&M Kart Racing, right?
yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that'd be but before I forget, they'll talk about the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake, I
Yes,
think, a little
that's
bit.
yeah, that's good timing actually. That's something else on my list too. So yeah, we talk about a little bit of third parties now. So I don't have a ton of third party predictions on here, but that was one of them. We haven't really, I don't think we've heard anything on that game since they announced it in this direct we're watching right now here. So, I think it is due for an update of some sort. I don't know when I think it will come out. My guess is I'm gonna go with like early fall. I would guess kind of like maybe like August, September maybe, somewhere on there. I think it's a game that they want to wait a little bit for. I think they want to still want to give Dragon Quest 3 remake a little bit more breathing room. But ultimately I think it's still a game that or like that's still a I guess what do you call it that duology that they need to get
Um,
out there at some point. So I think because I mean they said 2025 for it back in June of last year. So I mean clearly it's gotta be I would think at least close to done. Um so I don't think it'll be too much longer. I don't see this being like the big time like November title like we saw with Dragon Quest 3 remake, but I think it's still something that it's two big pretty big games in one pack. So I feel like it'll still get some sort of like build up and hype uh made for it. So I can see it being like a little bit later this year, but I don't think it'll be like too much later. I can see it being like a few months.
well, I'm gonna
So
say,
yeah.
how many s- uh Switch Online like for the NSO, like stuff like that? Like how much do you think is gonna be? How many games are gonna be added?
So I was actually gonna here, I'll ask you that first. How many do you think?
Okay. Well, so there's always going to be um a Game Boy, just a regular Game Boy.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say there's only gonna be one. I'm gonna say there's gonna be two SNES.
Okay.
Uh, and there's gonna be two N64. And I'm gonna say the Game Boy one is gonna be like some super niche thing that is just like you're gonna look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. I'm not gonna play it, but that's cool. One of those kind of games. SNES is going to be a Japanese exclusive that is like it's on the thing now. Wow. Like look at that, you know? And then for N64, hmm, there's also going to be a Japanese exclusive one on there, just a random one. And then what would be an N64 game? Hmm. What do you think could maybe be?
So I have three games listed here. They are all N64 games.
Ooh.
So first I think so in turn I do agree we'll probably get some other ones like I think we'll get like some SNES, maybe some GBA Game Boy games. Well, as for this could be, I really have no idea, so I'm not even gonna try to guess. But for N64, I think we're gonna get three games. One, I think is going to be Smash 64 because we have yet to get that game yet, and that feels like the one like giant obvious
Interesting.
first party game that we have not gotten that would make a lot of
Hmm.
sense. Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
that'd be
Ultimate has
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Smash Ultimate's been done for a few years now. I think it's been enough time where they could release it and wouldn't be like impeding upon Smash in any way. So I think it would make sense to
Even if
add
they
that one
released that
with
during
online.
peak Smash Ultimate, I don't think it would impact Ultimate at all.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, I feel like that's the reason we
I
didn't
don't
get
think they were
it
like, oh,
sooner.
I need to stop playing Ultimate to play to play the N64 Smash.
I mean, listen, man. I think Smash 64 with online would be so
Hmm,
sick. Like, I actually think it'd be really awesome. So I hope that we get that. Um,
maybe.
my other one or my other two, one and the other two I think we're gonna be the rare games because we got some rare games last time with Perfect Dark and oh, what was the other one we got? We got Banjo-Kazooie 2 at some point. And
Hmm.
then we also have this right here, the N64 Mature 17 ad that we just got new last direct, and there's
All
more
right.
than one game
Wait,
on it. So I think we're going to get finally
Conker's
Conker's
Bad Fur
Bad
Day.
Fur Day. Yeah, exactly. Finally gonna get Conker on here. Rare is finally seemingly coming and giving Nintendo back some of these games here. We
Mhm.
got, I believe we got the last DKC at some point in the last few months. So clearly, we're getting a lot of his games. I think there's not many things we can get left. I think Conquer is one of the obvious ones we could finally get. And then on top of that, I think we also are finally gonna get Diddy Kong Racing, because that's another obvious one that I feel like would make a lot of sense that we haven't gotten yet. That's owned by Rare. So I think those are the ones we get. Um, and I think two of them, I don't know which two, but two of them are going to be released tomorrow. They're going to be like Rack the Direct, and then one of them will come later this year at some point. It will not specify.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I would say if literally everything is garbage, everything for the whole direct is like garbage, but they announce Conker's Bad Fur Day, I think that would make it a good direct.
Listen, I would be more than happy to have Pong that for that. That
Because
would make the
that's
direct
like right
amazing.
because there's no port of that on anything, right?
No, it's still stuck on the N64. Yeah.
It's like that or just or like the a PC rip of it
Yeah. Was
ROM.
it wasn't on Rare Replay, right?
No.
Yeah, so then yeah, I think it's literally stuck on the N64 still. Or yeah, wherever it's been like fan ported to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be like that would be the coolest thing unless they like announce like the new mainline Zelda or something.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
would say
And
that would
that
be
is that is actually a fantastic segue as I want to ask you next. Do you think we'll see Zelda in any capacity tomorrow?
I mm, mm, not a trailer. If
Hmm.
anything, it would be like the regular guy's gonna be like, and here's my friend, uh Miyamoto. And it like goes over and and you hear the guy go like, "Hello, I'm Miyamoto," like dubbing over, and then it's
Yeah.
just gonna be, and we are working on the next Zelda title. Thank you, and then that's it.
So you think they would announce like 3D game and not next week?
I don't know if maybe not 3D, but maybe they'll just say like, or just like a title
Mhm.
of it and like the font of and art of like the title, and
Right,
he'll just say, "We are working on the next mainline Zelda game. Stay tuned for that later," or something.
right.
And then it cuts back, and he's like, "Wow, thank you, Miyamoto."
I think that'd be cool. I don't think we'll see that tomorrow. I think that's a next week thing if we get that. If it's like a brand new game, I think it's next week. But I do think you're onto something with Zelda though. Is like Zelda is a franchise that gets a new game pretty much every year. Even if it's like some
Yeah,
like spin-off or something. So I do think we are due for a Zelda game sometime this year.
I mean, because I'm also saying mainline because they, unlike Breath of the Wild, they decided not to do DLC for Tears of the Kingdom,
Right.
which with like the Switch 2, that idea makes more sense now of like, okay, let's not put more time into that. Let's focus on a new mainline. Probably it'll probably be in the in that same style just because so many people like it.
Hmm.
And
So then, do you
I guess
think?
so, they've probably been like they definitely have been working on Zelda
Oh, of
like a
course.
something like that, but I don't know if it'll be.
So like, what do you imagine for this game? Because obviously, like a lot of people, even people who like love Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom,
I
are
don't
looking
think
for
it'd
like
be
a
in
new
Hyrule.
world. You think it'll
Yeah,
be like
I
something
don't.
different, like a Majora's Mask type
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I agree
or
with that
just
actually.
in or just, yeah, but
So yeah, so I
mm,
think we could see a teaser for a new Zelda game next week because yeah, Zelda more than any other IP that Nintendo has, and Zelda is typically teased way before the game comes out. Like we saw like Breath of the Wild, but the first time we
oh
saw that
yeah,
game was I believe in the Wii U tech demo back in 2012. Of course, that came
yeah,
out 5 years
and
later.
like it wasn't like a screen recording; it was like a camera like
Right.
pointed at him playing, and you could like
Yes.
barely see the graphics. And he's like, "Look at this game; it's really
Right.
cool."
Yeah, it was
You're
hilarious.
like, "Wow,
You're like, whoa,
all
dude.
right,
Yeah.
it's coming out in 5 years."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then
Uh,
Even with Tears of the Kingdom, like that game came out in 2023. The first time we saw it was a teaser in E3 2019. So 4 years before the game came out. So,
mm,
and Nintendo's usually not known for announcing games like way early like that.
mm.
But with Zelda, they're willing to do
It's
it.
either years or it's coming out in like a month.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah,
There's
as you see
no,
with this
there's
game
not
right
much in
here.
between.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I think
Yeah,
it
like
was a
wasn't this like, oh, this comes out in like a few months.
Yeah, it came out in September, I believe, right? Or was it
Yeah.
October, somewhere on there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
my
It was
prediction for Zelda is obviously this is like a 2D style S game. So I don't think
yeah,
we're getting a
they've done
2D
a lot of
game so
2D.
soon.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think what we're getting here is I think we are finally going to get Wind Waker and or Twilight Princess. I think this is when we finally get the Wii U ports on
Mm.
Switch. It's been rumored for
A
years.
1080p HD
Yes, I actually think it could
instead of
be
a
like
720.
further improved. Yeah, like some people
Right.
have been
'Cause
memeing
wasn't it
about.
only actually 720
I
HD?
believe so. I don't remember offhand, but I believe so. That sounds right.
Mm.
But yeah, it feels like such an obvious, like easy port they could do that people would really love to see. Kind of just like to fill up a gap in the schedule, as it were. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I don't think it's time for the next 3D Zelda in any meaningful capacity. I mean, like they might do like a light tease, but that would be the best we would probably get out of anything Zelda related next week. So I think in order to kind of fill the easy gap for Zelda, I think you just release one of those two. The only thing I possibly see, maybe if they have it ready, is we could potentially see people have been predicting Link Between Worlds port from 3DS. I would love to see that. I think it's a great game. I don't think it's time though, 'cause that is another 2DS game. So I don't think it'd be time for that yet. Maybe next year we see something along those lines, but I think right now Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are the two kind of like obvious, easy ones they can just do, get out of the way, have them get out in the next few months. Um, Maybe like July for one and like August for the next one or something, maybe like September. Um, have them out there, easy to release, and I think they, sell pretty damn well. So give me Wind Waker and or Twilight Princess. I don't know for sure if we'll get both, but I feel decently confident we'll get one of the two.
Or or a port of the CDI games.
Exactly. I'm sure people are clamoring for that. So definitely need
Honestly,
to get it.
it'd be kind of cool.
I mean, if it's actually like remade basically from scratch to where it doesn't
Oh,
suck,
no, it's just a port.
then no.
And they just say HD and then but it's still
No.
janky as hell and uh
I will
yeah.
not be buying that if that is what it is.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. Well, I think let's see. I think before we move into like it'd be really cool if it happens, but it's not going to happen category. Um,
I'm not
like
even there yet. I got two more games I could think
well, yeah,
of that I can get.
I know, like, yeah. But so like I'm still talking in the area of actually plausible
Uh-huh.
stuff
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
Um, I would say I like definitely something Koei Tecmo.
Really? You think so?
That I think, yeah, I think, no, that could be either something Warriors-ish or I don't know if there would be a new Fire Emblem already. Or at least a Fire Emblem spin-off like Three Hopes or something like that.
Mhm.
Um,
So
Or just a port of any of the older games. Like there's gonna be something Koei
yeah.
Tecmo in
So
here.
yeah, so I think it's interesting because yeah, so Koei Tecmo's main division obviously just finished up with Dynasty Warriors a few months
Mhm.
ago.
Mhm.
So I don't think they would have their own like game ready yet necessarily. But I do agree, I actually do have on here. I think it is actually time for another Fire Emblem game. And I say that because Fire
And
Emblem
one that's
games
good.
traditionally come out every 2 to 3 years. We saw on the 3DS, Awakening was 2013, Fate was 2015, and then Echoes was 2017, and then of course Three Houses 2019. And then we kind of got thrown off a little bit after that because of some DLCs and updates that came after the games came out. I believe when was
Engage was
Engage
23? Yeah,
2023?
yeah, it was 23. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Um,
see. But that
yeah.
game it was
But that
early
was really only that
2023.
was mainly because of COVID. Like
Sure.
a lot
Yeah.
of stuff in Japan was
Yeah, and
delayed because of COVID.
it was
But so
confirmed. It was confirmed, I believe, after the game came out. It actually had been done for a long time before they released it. So
uh,
I think they've been working on something for a few years now. And I
mhm.
think
Houses
not
2.
only is it time, well now
Three Houses 2.
Three Houses 2, Three Houses the sequel.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna go out that lucky, but
It needs to be something as good as Three Houses because Engage 2 would make me cry.
yeah, I don't
Sad
think we'll get
tears,
that
not
either,
happy.
so do not
I don't even
fear.
know how Engage ends, so I don't even know if there could be a sequel or not.
I don't either, but I don't think there will be. Those are
And
quite
we'll never
rare.
find out because we're never going to play that game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Fire Emblem traditionally, well, I won't say traditionally, but on the one console it's been around for, it's died, I mean the 3DS. It was
Mhm.
a game that came out toward the end of the life cycle being the Echo series. And of course they actually did start the Echo series with Fire Emblem what was it, 3? Shadows of Valentia. So they had a precedent for having these like older Fire Emblem games remade, and it came out toward the end of 3DS's life cycle, and of course now here we are at the end of the Switch's life cycle. So I do believe it is finally time to get a new Fire Emblem Echoes game, and the natural pick that people have been asking for a while now would be Genealogy and the Holy War because that is a very popular Fire Emblem game in Japan. I don't believe it's ever come out here in the States. If it has, I don't know in what form. But I don't believe it's ever
Mhm.
come out here. But it's a very popular Fire Emblem game, and I think it would sell quite well. Like I said, it's a great game from what I understand. And I think it's time. I think it's time for new Fire Emblem. Obviously, Koei Tecmo has been historically helped work on Fire Emblem games because of the kind of like uh all the different like models on the screen during the battles these days. So they would have some part in making the game, and I think ultimately it is just time. I think it would be an easy, well, I won't say easy port, but like it'd be one of those ports that I would think would make sense, but it's not something you necessarily want to save or switch to because it is a remake of an older game. I
Mhm.
think we're probably going to see a brand new Fire Emblem game at some point in the next year or two, but I don't think it's time quite yet for a brand new one because between every Fire Emblem game we usually get some kind of like older one now. So I think this is a time for Genealogy and the Holy War remake, and I think it will come out late in the year. My guess would be like December, maybe October, somewhere around there. But I do think it is finally time to see that.
Um, yeah, I think that, I don't know if Koei Tecmo has like different divisions of like Fire Emblem where like one did Three Houses and like another one did Engage. Um, and like if they say specifically like like which sector or whatever worked on the game, you know, because
Mhm.
I'd have to, be like, oh, let me see if this is like the minds behind Three Houses,
Right.
or maybe they hired an intern
I
and
mean, you never know.
they made Engage. But yeah, but I think just like there's gonna be something Fire Emblem.
I agree. Yeah,
Just it could just be an NSO thing or something bigger. But yeah,
right.
then I would say if it is a small thing of Fire Emblem, like an NSO port or whatever, then there's going to be something else Koei Tecmo. But
I
if
think it's
there's
possible. Yeah, maybe we
uh,
get like a new Fire Emblem Warriors or maybe a new Warriors game altogether.
hmm,
Um, maybe Tears of the Kingdom Warriors. I don't know. I think it's
uh,
possible though. I think it's possible.
yeah, but I'm gonna move on. Say so. There's I think just to backtrack a little bit back to like the uh, obvious of like there's gonna be something that like no one's really gonna care about because just watching this past direct, there's gonna be a mediocre Stardew Valley
Oh yeah.
uh Animal Crossing like.
Yes. No, I expect like six new farming sims in this direct.
Yeah, like it's just gonna be like, did this game even come out yet?
I have no idea. I don't know what this game. I don't know what this game is.
It's a like a Hobbit Shire thing.
Oh yeah, it's the Hobbit one. I forgot about this. Tales of
Yeah,
the Shire. Oh, apparently according to
that
that, it's already out. But I didn't know that.
yeah, it's like something like this where it's like the most you'll ever see is a few streamers playing it on release day and nothing else.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think
Like
yeah, I
that's
mean, yeah,
all.
there's gonna be probably a handful of like smaller and third party games that no one's gonna
Hmm.
really care much about. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I do think we'll probably see a few of those. I couldn't tell they're gonna be, but yeah, I think we'll see a few.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Well, do you have any more for like realistic cool predictions?
I have two more. I have two more. I'll
Okay.
start with a kind of a more boring one. I think we're going to see a port of Yoshi's Woolly World on Switch. That was a
Hmm.
game that was very much it was pretty popular on Wii U, considered the best platformers on the system. It is one of the few Wii U games that has not been ported to Switch yet that people actually want, along with like the Zelda games and maybe a few others. Um, I think it's time. I think it would be an easy kind of gap to fill in the schedule once again. It was ported to 3DS for some reason, and it was given extra content like Poochie and stuff. I think we could finally see
Hmm.
that content come to a mainline console and get that all kind of as one full package. And ultimately, I think that would be a kind of a popular, kind of like easy port they can do. So I think we'll see that. And then I don't have any other like realistic ones. I have one more if you're out. Um, I think we're going to see DLC for Mario Party Jamboree. We never got
Hmm.
DLC for Superstars, and I think that was a missed opportunity and a mistake. I don't know if it'll be free or not. That part I'm not sure about yet, but I think is only natural we should get DLC for Jamboree because while I do think the game has a good amount of content in it, I think is, you know, it's ultimately something I think could always use more. I mean, it's easy to kind of just like make more mini games, maybe a new board, maybe like
Hmm.
new characters, something, throw them in the game, and they would sell pretty well. It would get people back into the game again. It's been a decent few months now since the game came out. People might be kind of over the game now. Easy way to get people pulled back in with some new content. I think it makes too much sense. Like honestly, I'm kind of shocked that Mario Party before now hasn't had any DLC between like Superstars and then Super Mario Party before that. And I think it's ultimately time. I think it would make sense. I think we'll see DLC for Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah. We haven't played that in a while, so I kind of forgot about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that that would maybe they'll say more about this whatever Last Defense Academy something.
Yeah, I have no idea that game's even out or not. I hope it is because
I
I
don't
actually was
think
looking
so because
forward to
I've
that
never heard
game.
anything about that.
Yeah, I actually was looking forward to that game. I don't remember. I don't think I've heard about it since this direct. So I don't know.
Yeah. So,
All right, and I have
yeah,
one
what's
kind
your one?
of I have one kind of like more bold prediction. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it is probably unlikely. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't know how many you have. I'll let you go first.
No, I don't think I have any more for like the like I definitely have like the very bold predictions of like that's not gonna happen, but if it does, like
Yeah,
uh
I have
yeah,
one
but
bold
no, so
one.
that'll be like a next
Yeah,
category kind of thing.
I'm pretty
So
much
you
out
go.
of like realistic ones. I have one bold one. I think it's like a small chance, but
So go ahead
probably
and
not
shoot
gonna
that one.
happen.
Go ahead and say what that
All right,
is.
so my bold prediction, I think is a
Wait, let me
small
guess.
chance it could happen.
Pikmin
What?
5.
No, not
Uh,
quite that bold. That'd be funny.
okay.
I think we might finally, after all these years, get an update on Silk Song. I think we might finally see a Silk Song update.
Oh,
It's been years since we've
that's
seen it.
That's just
Um,
that's everyone's Nintendo bingo.
I mean,
That's like
yeah,
that's
but I mean, it's been like what, like 6 years now since we heard the game, like 5 years.
if you keep guessing that it'll be in the direct, you'll be right eventually.
Exactly. Yeah.
But will you be right this time? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
So I hope this is finally it. It's really been so long. We need to see an update on the game. I hope we get it today or tomorrow.
It's just
Um,
DLC for Hollow Knight or something.
that'd be hilarious, actually. I'm
And
not
it's
gonna
like what?
lie. You're just like,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. But so I would say.
Oh, actually, I have one more after this, but I'll let you
Oh,
go.
okay. No, because I'm
You
was
want
gonna be
me,
moving
you
on to
want like
another
rapid
thing.
fire yours? All right. Another one
Let's
that I
see. Go.
think this is probably a little bit more grounded than the other one. Actually, this has a decent chance of happening, but I can't forget about this now. Um, One thing I've seen online a little bit that has been asked for a long time, we haven't gotten yet, is a either a port of the old one or a new entry for Tomodachi Life. Um, that is a obviously like the Me-esque games have been a I don't want to say a popular IP on Switch. They've gotten a few entries between like Switch Sports and Miitopia. I think Tomodachi Life is the kind of like last natural game you could port over from a 3DS onto the Switch. That would make sense. It was probably the most popular one of those games on the 3DS. And it was, in my opinion, a really great game. I'm actually kind of surprised they have not shown or not announced anything for it after all this time. But I think this could finally be it. Like I said, I think it's another kind of like one of those like easier ports they could do. It's like even like it's like before Tomodachi Life existed, they had a Japanese exclusive version of the game called Tomodachi. Oh, what was it called? Tomodachi. What was it
I don't
called?
know.
I can't remember what it was called. It was a Japanese exclusive game that never came out in the States or anywhere except Japan, but it was pretty popular over there. And that was ultimately why they made Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. And it wasn't actually that big of a jump in terms of like, quality of the game. It was pretty similar to the DS one. So I think it's one of those games that even if you made like a sequel, it wouldn't have to be like that expansive in terms of like how much new stuff is in the game. So I think it would make sense to see a new entry in that series. I think people would be really excited for it. So I think we can see that.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. All right. Well, then I think it's now time to move on to the uh. It'd be really cool if it happens, but it's not going to happen, and then everyone online is going to complain when they don't see it.
Okay.
Because this also then falls into the like everyone's, like you go to Twitter and you look up like Nintendo Direct Bingo board and you scroll through and you're like, okay, no, they're not putting GTA 5 on the Switch. But
Yeah. Even if we were getting GTA 5, I don't think we see that tomorrow. I think it'd be a next week thing.
mm, yeah, but so I would say, you know, there's definitely like it's not gonna happen, but let's see, what would it be? What would it be? I'm drawing a blank now.
What?
Back to you.
You don't have any? Or you do not have any planned out? You're just thinking on the fly.
Yeah, I was thinking on the fly for
Um,
that, but I can't think of it now. Oh,
one
Earthbound 3, or
Mother 3.
Mother 3. Yeah, there's gonna
That'd
be
be crazy.
Mother. Oh, yeah, I'm remembering now. Yeah, so like something Mother 3, a Chrono Trigger port.
That'd be
Uh,
insane. I would lose some
yeah,
mind if they got that.
that would be like like that's not gonna happen, but if it does, that'd be really cool. Something Rayman, like that's not gonna happen, but.
Yeah, we saw this on Sin Rayman anymore. It's kind of sad.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. See. Like we'll probably hear something from Sakurai, but I don't think
I
there'd
will
be
actually disagree with that. I think we
really.
might see some of his game next week, but I don't think we'll see it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, because I'm saying like if he says anything kind of specific, that's kind of the like I don't think that happens. But like what I said before with Miyamoto is that he might come on and just be like, because he's done this before. He said like. He didn't say I think he said like we kind of are working on something but he didn't say like specific, like anything specific at all. So maybe I'm saying he'll come on again and he'll be it's like, hello, I'm Sakurai,
Yeah.
and I am I'm here to share that I am currently working on the next installment for Smash. Bye now, and then that's
Do,
it.
do you think that's what he's doing? Do you think he's doing another Smash game?
I would, because you know he ain't doing Icarus.
You don't think so?
He ain't doing anything with
So
Icarus.
not to spoil like potential future discussion video, but I actually think there is a chance he's doing a Kid Icarus Uprising port for the Switch too.
I don't
Um,
think so.
Now that we know that that Switch 2 has that mouse feature, it would be a good way to, like it's like the biggest hurdle for that game was the weird gameplay. But now you have that mouse feature, it would fix a lot of that with like the stylus problems and stuff. So I actually think we could potentially see
Uh, I don't know. You
that
know, the
game.
most that that's ever going to be used for uh is going to be like 1, 2, Switch 3 with like a
Game and
mini game.
Wario. Yeah.
Yeah, like a WarioWare where it's like wipe, and like you have to put it down and wipe, and like a really poorly made like drawing game, and that's all it's going to be used for. Or like a Mario Party mini game.
I
But
wouldn't be
like that's it.
surprised. Yeah,
Like
I wouldn't be
it's not
surprised.
gonna. I don't think it's gonna be like a because it's one of those things where you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But when you really think about it, it's like, well, that's kind of annoying. It's like I'm gonna have to like find like go to my desk and like have a clear space and do all
Right.
that. So I don't know. But I think something that'd be like it won't happen if Sakurai does say anything is that he says he's working on like a new IP or something. But
Yeah,
mhm.
and that might be the case.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's because it's kind of like uh maybe he wants to work on his biggest game before he dies.
Before he dies.
Yeah, before he dies or retire. Well, he'll probably die working at Nintendo. I don't think he's ever gonna. I don't like those
I
higher ups at
mean,
Nintendo. I don't think they're gonna retire ever. I think they're just gonna die with the company.
listen, I mean, like I say this with all due respect, but like, I mean, Sakurai is definitely like a workaholic. Like that man is obsessed with his like craft, and
Mm,
I definitely feel like he's somebody who like at this point, like I mean, like all we heard was after Smash 4 was that he wasn't gonna come back and do another Smash game, and now here we are. He's done Ultimate and he's now working on something else. So I mean, clearly
mhm,
he still has the passion and drive to make more games. So I definitely think it's possible that we could see another Smash game from him at some point, even if it's not anytime soon. I think we could see one.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think. Yeah, what would be like another unrealistic
I have
thing
one
to
more,
happen?
actually.
Okay, okay. What is it?
Um, I think we could potentially see we so Capcom uh about a
Mm,
year ago now, or no, it wasn't it? I guess it was like 6 months ago. They've been very port heavy recently when it comes to the Phoenix Wright series. They released, of course, the Ladder trilogy about a year ago now, and then about 6 months ago they released the Edgeworth games on Switch. I think maybe it could be time for a light tease of a new Phoenix Wright game finally. We haven't had a brand new one since 2020, I believe, or maybe it was 2021 with the Great Ace Attorney
mm,
game. Could
mm,
finally be time to see that again. Or see
mm,
that for see Phoenix Wright come back in some capacity. Um, the new game, I
mm,
think that'd be really fun. So maybe,
mm. All right, yeah. I would say my next it probably won't happen is like a Luigi's Mansion 4.
yeah,
Um
I think it's too soon for that, but
yeah, that's not gonna
maybe.
happen, but if it does, like whatever, cool. Um, you know,
One thing interesting is you mentioned Chrono Trigger earlier,
hmm
and
Chrono Trigger 2?
I actually think we might see. So I think Square Enix could appear here in some capacity. And we mentioned Dragon Quest earlier.
Oh,
If it,
they appear in every direct.
yeah, exactly. And but I think
This is going to be
outside of Dragon
something.
Quest, I think we could potentially see a port of Bravely Default, maybe. That's something I just thought of. Um,
Because the second one's on
yeah, because we have
Switch.
Bravely Second on Switch, or excuse me, we have Bravely Default 2 rather. But Bravely
Yeah.
Default 1 and Bravely Second are both still stuck on the 3DS, and I think those are two games that are very good that
hmm
could come on Switch and do well. So I think maybe we could see one of those.
hmm Yeah. I would say then like the next thing where it's like uh something Haunted Chocolatier, which is the Stardew
Yeah,
Valley creator. 'Cause we haven't heard much, so and it's like we're not gonna hear anything with that game until it's like a trailer that would be in like a direct wouldn't
right,
happen until it's like actually finished.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
so it's like if that happens tomorrow, then it's like, you know,
yeah,
mhm.
yeah. I can see
Well,
that actually. I'm in shock.
mhm. Yeah. What how many things do you think are gonna be shadow dropped tomorrow?
I think it will be at most two. I think I already said the NSO games, and then I've seen some people
Yeah.
online predict. Obviously, we had Metroid Prime 1 remastered, Shadow dropped about 2 years ago now. Um, I have seen a few predictions here and there that we might get Metroid Prime 2 remastered, Shadow dropped tomorrow. I personally don't think so. I think it'd be too soon and too close together with Metroid Prime 4. So I don't see it, but I think if Metroid Prime 4 is not a release day game for Switch 2, um, and spoilers for maybe another discussion, if GameCube is not on NSO in the near future, we might see we might see it come out or and
hmm
announced tomorrow. I think it's possible. But I'm going with no. I think my gut tells me
No,
no.
I'm saying like that is not gonna be on this first Switch. It would only be on the second.
Metroid Prime 2.
For no, like GameCube, like NSO. I
Yeah,
thought that's what you were
I
saying.
agree. Yes, and I actually I have a prediction for
Yeah,
that for another discussion, but I agree.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because those would just take up a lot of space,
Yeah.
and like I think that you know
Yeah.
the Switch with the NSO with the N64 online, like that uses up because each game's like about a gig.
Right. Yeah.
So like, when they just keep adding stuff, that application just gets bigger and bigger, and the Switch has like a pubic hair of storage space. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so
So one last prediction I'll give. It's my last one. And
mm,
I'm conflicted on whether I think this will be tomorrow or next week, but I think it will for sure be at one of the two directs. I think we might finally see an update on the Professor Layton game. Um,
mhm.
it has been a long time since we've heard about it, and
Was it
you
in the
know,
last direct or the one before that?
it was in I believe it was in the direct. I want to say it was. I think it was a year ago now or so. I can't actually remember. It's been a long time. I know that much. Um, but of course the game was delayed a while back. Um, but Level 5 has said it is still in development. It's not canceled or anything. And I do believe even if it doesn't come out like anytime soon, I believe it could finally time for an update on the game. Um, Story of Seasons finally got a really or no, not Story of Seasons, but oh, what's the other game called? That just came out recently. That they're doing. But like that game finally came out after like a long time of it being delayed and you know waited for basically. Fantasy Life, that's what it's called. Fantasy Life, The Girl Steals Time. That game was delayed, I think once or twice as well, and it finally came out a few months ago. Then we could finally see an update on Professor Layton since it is time for a new one or for a new trailer, I think. And yeah, I think it might finally be time for that.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
So
Maybe.
yeah, that's pretty much all my predictions. I'm fresh out. I don't know if you have anything
Yeah.
else.
Um, yeah, no, I think that is all.
All right.
Have you been looking through like the different like the stupid bingo boards on Twitter?
I actually haven't yet, but I probably will now. I always kind of like forget to, and then like I'll like. he's sitting on Twitter, but like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fun little thing I can
I
do.
mean, because
Yeah.
it's always the same stuff. It's like the predictions that like they've been predicting for like 5 years.
Yeah. Well, hey, the Xenoblade export is finally taken off of it. Finally. So that's
Yeah,
fun.
one of the 25.
Yeah, no, literally. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
well, I guess we
Yeah,
can
like
close. I will close by, or go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Splatoon 4.
Platoon 4. That would be next week. They announced that, but maybe.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I'll close by asking. So then, after we discussed all this, where's your hype level at now? Has it like changed at all? Is it any higher than it was before?
I guess 7 or 8. I
Seven
don't
or
know.
eight? Yeah, I'm around the same actually. I think while I don't think this strike's gonna have a ton of new announcements in it in terms of like brand new games, I think it's gonna be mostly ports, like we said. I still think it's gonna have a lot
Yeah.
of ports that are exciting. It's like a Fire Emblem port. I think even Kirby, Yoshi, the NSO games, like those are all ports I think would be really exciting.
Hmm.
And ultimately, I think it would still make for a good direct. So I'm actually excited. I
Yeah.
would give this like
Like
an
like
eight.
like
I'm
if
excited.
if they announced this was happening after the Switch 2 Direct,
Mhm.
then it'd be like a 9 or 10 because then that means they're showing the tech and the
Yeah,
specs and all that and then showing games on like you'd know that it'd be stuff on the Switch 2.
right. So
But
that's
this is like
actually go ahead,
the
go ahead,
kind
go
of
ahead.
but yeah, but this is just like the precursor of like final stuff for the Switch 1 and maybe a little hint of the second one, but it's not like, you know.
Yeah, you raise a good point. Because obviously, yeah, like that. Then one of the big questions is we don't know, if any, how many games we will see here that could easily be have Switch 2 versions come out that are announced next week. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of balance these two directs in terms of like what games are shown off between the two. So I do look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it, I guess. Thank you all for
Yeah, that's
watching. And yeah, let us know in the comments what games you think will be announced tomorrow, if any exciting ones,
mhm,
because there's a
mhm.
lot of potential. So
Yeah. Maybe some
yeah,
AI slop, maybe
yes,
some mobile ports or
yes.
games that are also coming out on mobile.
The most
You know.
hyped, the most hyped announcements. Yes.
Hmm.
All right.
Well,
Catch you all
all right.
later.
Yeah, wear your
Bye.
seatbelt.
Yes. All right. Bye.